Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about different types of play. So there's physical play. Physical play can include dancing or playing different ball games like baseball, basketball, football. This helps your child build their muscles, bones, and physical skills. Also, I encourage you guys, as parents, teachers, educators, to keep children moving as much as possible, whether that's little walks during breaks or getting them up and stretching and all of that. And then there's social play, which children learn how to take turns, cooperate, and share with others, and playing with others as well. This helps children develop language skills. Um, and I would also encourage you guys to take your children to like the local playground or the local park or like the local pool or um, lake so that they can play with other children. Also, for parents with toddlers, you guys can create little groups like mommy and me, daddy and me, nanny and me type of thing where you can help your children meet other children, but also to make connections with other people in your community to create play dates or something like that. Um, then there's sensory motor play, when a child explores the world by touching, mouthing, etc., and just using like their different senses to see what they're playing with, or just to touch and feel different things, whether that's inside or outside when they're playing. This also helps the child's movements that are restricted to actions that allow them to explore the object they are playing with using their senses. Then there's rough and tumble play is when a child tends to like to climb over other children or their parents, wrestling, roll around, and even pretend to fight each other. Um, this is like a basic human instinct that helps children develop many skills, whether that's learning how to stand their ground so they don't fall. Also learning how to just communicate when they're done. With the rough and tumble type of play, and also mostly children like this kind of play because it's fun and it gets their aggression out, and they just think it's fun to wrestle around with other people. And then there's dramatic play. So dramatic play is like a umbrella term, but there's like also different levels of, or like there's different types of dramatic play. And the next two slides, I will be talking about that. But dramatic play is where a child takes on different roles and acts out scenarios. Um, I know that there are a lot of different like like learning centers and preschools, and some schools um, might have a certain area called a dramatic play area where they just have like a certain theme that they pick out for the child to play with, um, and just have a little space for children to do dramatic play. And so the first type of dramatic play is symbolic play, which usually means a child uses a real or imaginary object to represent other real or imaginary objects. In short, it's when children pretend to be something or someone else. Like, um, if like if you put an apple or like different types of food toy items, a child might think that they might be Snow White and take the apple and kind of just reenact Snow White or other things like that that they might be interested in based on the theme that you have in that certain area. And then there's socio-dramatic play. This is when child emanate and act out social roles and interactions that they observe in their surroundings. Like they might play doctor with other children, and there's doctor type things like a stethoscope and stuff like that in dramatic play area. It also can involve very complex or not or little to no like complex scenarios that are very big or very small with multiple characters, but also each have a specific role. And this is more structured, like I said, like with dramatic play um, in some learning centers and childcare centers, they do put they have a theme and then they get out like certain materials for that. That's somewhat structured, but then like the play is unstructured based on the child and how they use those to their advantage with other children as well. And then that's kind of it for dramatic play. And now we're going to be getting into games with rules, which is defined by games that are defined by a set of rules that dictate how they should be played. These could be traditional games like Simon Says, Tag, or Hide and Seek, or board games like Ludo or Snakes and Ladders, or different like types of board games where like they just have the rules. They make demands on memories and social skills. Children and adults learn how to take turns to negotiate rules and even look into the minds of others in order to predict someone's next moves. We learn to empathize. Also, children and adults learn how to lose and win with good grace, and kind of teaching your child that it's okay to lose and it's okay to sometimes win, and that it's just a type of game or a kind of play that is more structured than unstructured. And then there's natural play, an activity that involves children and adults spending time in nature, exploring and engaging in unstructured play. Like going on hikes or going to the park or something like that is a great type of nature play. It is also a great way to connect with the natural world and experience the benefits of being outdoors. I remember as a kid, I would always be outside camping in the backyard with my dad during the summer, and like that was kind of fun in our neighborhood just to be out there. But then my dad would be inside when I woke up, but like that was still fun. And I remember I would always hear like the crawdads and all of that because I lived in Oklahoma, which is kind of the south-ish part of the country, and so I would always hear different types of critters out, so that was fun because we also lived near a pond. And then the last but not least, there's mastery play. A form centered on practicing and perfecting skills is a fundamental to early childhood development, and by that, it just means repetitive engagement in activities. Young children acquire essential skills and build confidence necessary to navigate their expanding world. And mastery play kind of ties into mainly a lot of the different plays that I've talked about because when you go hiking or doing physical play, you're learning how to move your legs and your body and all of that by catching certain like balls like football, basketball, and other things like that. And then these are the references. These two sites are like the references of everything that I taught in this video. I will have some other resources type page on my website. Also, I have other videos going more in depth in this, and you guys can find those on my website, which I will publish soon. So, thank you for coming.